All right, Jeff, let's talk about Upkeeply.
Sir.
I was reading the best hotel workflow optimization software in the industry and went a little further. Upkeeply is the perfect tool for incident management, CMMS, and preventative maintenance. Spend less time managing multiple systems with our seamless all in one platform designed to streamline operations and improve customer experience in hospitality, senior living, and retail spaces. Easily schedule inspections or initiate work orders quickly. So, I like this because most of what I do is on the commercial side, but over the past couple of years, I've dabbled in the operation side of hotels, on the technology side anyway. And it seems like in this space that you're running, everything's a little cumbersome and clunky.
It is. It is. That's exactly it. And, I really noticed it. I mean, I've been in the industry for 40 years, hotel operations to start, and then hotel software towards the end. So 20 years of it. And yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. And that's what we hear all the time. It's just like, there's companies out there that are trying to do too much with their software, instead of just making it fluid and easy for the users to understand and for the users to use. They just want to inundate their software with more and more things that these properties can do. But to me, what they're doing is just making it less attractive for users.
Yeah.
You log into a system that's, you know, has a UI that just hits you in the face as soon as you log into it. It's automatically the user's going to be scared to use it.
Yeah.
So, we wanted to develop something that was obviously pleasing to the eye first and foremost, but then a breeze to start to use and understand.
Yeah. Your customers, are they predominantly new to technology like this, or are
No.
they leaving some of that clunky software?
Right. Most of them are leaving. Some were clunky, pen and paper.
Yeah.
But a couple, left. Yeah, absolutely. I was lucky enough to have contacts in the industry. But no one in their right mind is going to buy a piece of software just because they know somebody, right? The software has got to be, up to snuff, if you will. Um, but uh, the people that were using some of the competitors out there, they said, it's just like we said, too cumbersome. The users are afraid. So when users are afraid, then you're not tracking everything, you're not logging everything, so things are getting missed. Um, and what I discovered, I did a lot of calls before I started developing the software, because I wanted to see what the usage rate out there was for the software. And to my surprise, it's like, oh yeah, we're using it, but it's just for guest requests. We'll put in the guest requests and have it dispatched, and that's the end of it. And I was like, well, how can that be the end of it? There's
Yeah.
just so much more after that that needs to be done. Like, figure out why the issue happened. What can we do to stop that issue from happening in the future? And it just boggled my mind why these properties or other commercial properties weren't using a unified system that they could use across all departments to track all this information. I would go to a property with the company that I used to work, now a competitor. I would ask them, I would say, okay, well, just for kicks and giggles, give me a list of what the top 10 issues were in your bar last month. Oh, okay, hold on. I'll have to get the F&B manager and see if he's got that spreadsheet, because I know we were looking at his Excel spreadsheet last week at the meeting. I'm like, a spreadsheet. Okay. Yeah, we're just 2024, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But you'd be surprised. It's just asinine. And so I like to call it a whole hotel solution because, forgive me, but crap happens in every part of a hotel, not
Yeah.
just the front office, not just the rooms. So, if you want to make informed decisions on capital expenditures and so on, you have to know exactly what is going on in the whole hotel, not just your front office or your housekeeping department. You know, engineering, lobby areas, restaurants, the Starbucks. Any outlet in the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're starting to see a kind of a wake up in operations.
I'm
Um,
hoping so.
yeah.
I really am because it's starting to, affect the guests. Well, not starting to. It's affecting the guest, right? I'll see it all the time. Pictures of somebody checking into a big brand name hotel, and they'll have watermarks on their ceiling from a leak, or torn wallpaper, and
Did you see
the
that
hallway.
post? Did
I
you see
did
that
see
post
that
today?
post.
Okay. Yeah, with the wall with like I
Yeah,
don't know what that was on
I
there.
don't
I
know
was like,
what that was
whoa.
either. So, it's just stuff like that. Come on,
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, the average daily rate for hotels has never been as high as it is now. I mean, they're making money. It's hard to find staff. So their labor budgets are not as high as they were because they just can't find the staff. So why aren't you trying to use systems that are available to you to help you become more productive and more efficient, without having all the staffing models,
Yeah.
and having system like this, with a touch of a few buttons, we could have pulled that report of the top 10 problems in that restaurant last month, in 5 seconds. Here you go. Here they are.
Yeah.
I used to, when I was managing a property of mine a while back, and we were using a competitor's product, I would hold a monthly department head meeting, and I would say, okay, I want you to bring, your top 10 list from that software. And basically, we mandated that, okay, whatever was number one on the list for your department last month, we want to fix that so it's not even in the top three next month. So, between you and your supervisors, whatever you need to do to figure out what the issue is, use the software at your disposal to figure all that out, whether it's, looking at the hot water lines or the cold water lines or the boiler feeds, whatever the case may be. Let's look at the bottom line and see where the issue's coming from so we can, fix it, not just put a band-aid on it. And that's the
Yeah.
problem. There's too many band-aids in this industry. Way
Yeah.
too many band-aids.
Well, describe your solution for us.
Sure. Well, as you said, it's all in one, encompassing, task management with some CMMS there, some computer maintenance management system with asset management, um, preventative maintenance for both rooms, locations, and also assets. We have a very robust asset management system, or module in the system, that we can track everything for your assets, whether it's the fridge in the room or the dishwasher in the room, if you have suites, uh, all things like that, and be able to actually conduct preventative maintenance on those assets as well. Um, we've got an inspections module, and it's thinking outside the box. It's not just strictly a room inspections module. It's an inspections module that you can inspect your associates. So if I'm an FOM, for example, and I want to see how Julie, my GSA, is doing, I can kick back in the lobby and watch her, perform a check-in, and have Upkeeply on my tablet and running through. Okay, did she, have verbal contact, or sorry, eye contact at 15 feet with verbal contact at 5 feet? Yes, she did. Did she use the guest's name at least 3 times? Yes, she did. Making sure she didn't point to anything. No, she didn't. Uh, so we can do all those types of inspections on individuals as well as rooms and locations, as we said earlier.
Fantastic. So, how would you describe your different compared to what's available or the status quo?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing where we're different is we are using our proprietary algorithms for our dispatching. So with the other couple of competitors that I did work for, we would always have to write business rules for the dispatching. So if it's going to be this occupancy on this particular day, and we have this many associates, then these are the business rules that we need to use, and so on. Well, I wanted to get away from that, and that's what we've done. So with the proprietary algorithms and the mathematics that we have in the back end, everything is based on who's logged into the system. So you don't have to be, um, you can use anybody's phone, for example. So if your phone doesn't work, grab another one and just log in as yourself, and you're good to go. You don't have a device that's specifically assigned to you. Um, so I think that's where the biggest difference is. There's no maintaining of those business rules. Um, and of course, the tailored configurability that we have, I wanted to make sure that any list in the system would be editable for the properties. It doesn't matter when the system's implemented, there is a standard lists that the system comes with, but you can edit those, you can delete them, you can start from scratch, you can do whatever you want with them. So we wanted to make sure that that configurability was there in the system as well for these properties, because that was a big thing that we were hearing. The property would ask, can you do this, can you do this, and it's like, no, unfortunately we can't, but we can do this instead. Well, I didn't want to have to say that to properties.
Yeah.
So again, what we've done along the way is, and this is where we're a bit different too, I think, because we're more of a boutique style as opposed to a conglomerate, if you will. So I look to our properties to give me information on what they think would help their operation. So I will, reach out every month or every couple of months to say, see how things are going. Do you have anything for me as far as wish list options or anything like that? And if they do, we'll talk about it and they'll ask what their use case is. And between my brother and I, the CTO, we'll sit down and say, this is something that's going to help everybody out there. So yeah, let's get this in like today. And and within a week or 2 weeks, depending on how complicated it might be, boom, it's in there. So, before it was always a case where, yeah, okay, let me write that down and I'll make sure that I send it into the enhancement wish list for our development team. And I'm sure they'll get back to you probably within the next couple of weeks. Yeah, right.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, and speaking of support, that's another place I think where we do stand out, and we're gonna continue to stand out, is that customer support and customer service.
Yeah.
If you've got top quality software with top quality support and customer service and knowledge, you're golden,
Yeah.
I think.
Well,
Yeah.
to wrap us up, tell us what your customers have been saying. What's about their experience?
Yeah, they've all loved it. They one property, the GM actually wrote and said, I got to thank you so much for bringing us into the 21st century. Not knowing what else is out there is detrimental to operations people, because a lot of times it's oh, we are this brand, so we're supposed to use this product, so they just do it,
Yeah.
as opposed to finding out, well, do we have to use it?
Yeah.
Why can't we look at something else? So we're getting a lot of feedback from the properties that we're going in the right direction as far as how we're developing the system, because we're listening to them.
Yeah.
And that's all they really want. If you're listening to them, and not just listening to them, I'll take that back, not just listening to them, but taking to heart what they're telling you and implementing some of those ideas, not just saying, oh, thank you so much for the information, you know,
Yeah.
but it's actually doing something, and letting them see that you're doing something with it. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff. Well, I appreciate you joining me. This sounds pretty exciting. Always like to see new tech and operations for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you having me, Jason. I can't thank you enough. I really do.
You bet.
All right.